15. U.S. Code 1632, Form of Disclosure and Additional Information. A. Information clearly and conspicuously disclosed, annual percentage rate and finance charge, in order of disclosures and use of different terminology. Information required by this subchapter shall be disclosed clearly and conspicuously in accordance with regulations of the Bureau. The terms annual percentage rate and finance charged shall be disclosed more conspicuously than other terms, data, or information provided in connection with the transaction, except information relating to the identity of the creditor. It says to the identify of the creditor. So let's just read that again. The terms annual percentage rate and finance charge shall be disclosed more conspicuously than other terms, data, or information provided in connection with the transaction, except information relating to the identify of the creditor, except as provided in subsection C, which is tabular format required for certain disclosures of the regulations of the Bureau, need not require that disclosures pursuant to this subchapter be made in the order set forth in this subchapter, and, except as otherwise provided, may permit the use of terminology different from that employed in this subchapter if it conveys substantially the same meaning. B. Optional information by creditor or lessor. Any creditor or lessor may supply additional information or explanation with any disclosures required under Parts D and E, and except as provided in Sections 1637 AB3 and 1638 B1 of this title under this part. C. Tabular format required for certain disclosures under Section 1637C. 1. In general, the information described in paragraphs 1A, 3B, little I, big I, 4A, and 4CI, maybe that's an L, of Section 1637C of this title shall be let's see what that is. Section 1637C is open end consumer credit plans. Okay. In general, the information described in those paragraphs of Section 1637C shall be disclosed in the form and manner which the Bureau shall prescribe by regulations, and placed in a conspicuous and prominent location, or with any written application, solicitation, or other document or paper with respect to which such disclosure is required. 2. Tabular format. A. Form of table to be prescribed. In the regulations prescribed under paragraph 1A of this subsection, the Bureau shall require that the disclosure of such information shall, to the extent the Bureau determines to be practicable and appropriate, shall be in the form of a table which contains clear and concise headings for each item of such information, and provides a clear and concise form for stating each item of information required to be disclosed under each such heading. B. Bureau discretion in prescribing order and wording of table. In prescribing the form of the table under subparagraph A, the Bureau may list items required to be included in the table in a different order than the order in which such items are set forth in paragraph 1A or 4A of section 1637C of this title, and subject to paragraph C, employ terminology which is different than the terminology which is employed in section 1637C of this title if such terminology conveys substantially the same meaning. Grace period. Either the heading or the statement under the heading, which relates to the time period referred to in section 1637, shall contain the term grace period. These are just rules for them. Okay. Each creditor. Uh-oh. Each creditor shall establish and maintain an internet site on which the creditor shall post the written agreement between the creditor and the consumer for each credit card account under open end consumer credit plan. Each creditor shall provide to the Bureau an electronic format the consumer credit card agreements that it publishes on its internet site. 3. Record repository. The Bureau shall establish and maintain on its publicly available internet site a central repository of the consumer credit card agreements received from creditors pursuant to the subsection, and such agreements shall be easily accessible and retrievable by the public. 4. Exception. This subsection shall not apply to individually negotiated changes to contractual terms, such as individually modified workouts or renegotiations of amounts owed by a consumer under an open end consumer credit plan. The Bureau, in consultation with the other federal banking agencies, as that term is defined in section 1681A of this title, and the Bureau. So the Bureau, in consultation with the other federal banking agencies and the Bureau, may promulgate regulations to implement this subsection, including specifying the format for posting the agreements on the internet sites of the creditors and establishing exceptions to paragraphs 1 and 2 in any case which the administrative burden outweighs the benefit of increased transparency, such as where a credit card plan has a de minimis number of consumer account holders. We're going to look up de minimis, and it means what the fuck? I don't want to look up that. I De minimis, de minimis means too trivial or minor merit to consideration. One that is so small that it does not attract the imposition of duty or tax. That is what de minimis means. A very small number. Very small. Okay. So after this, we are going to go into, let's do this now, 15 U.S. Code 1633, exemption for state regulated transactions. The Bureau shall, by regulation, exempt from the requirements of this part any class of credit transactions within any state if it determines that under the law of that state, that class of transactions is subject to requirements substantially similar to those imposed under this part. and that there is adequate provision for the enforcement. 15 U.S. Code subsection 1634, effect of subsequent occurrence. If information disclosed in accordance with this part is subsequently rendered inaccurate as the result of any act, occurrence, or agreement subsequent to the delivery of the required disclosures, the inaccuracy resulting therefrom does not constitute a violation of this part. Okay, so next video is going to be 1635, right of rescission. Oh, that's one of y'all favorite ones. Y'all gonna love this one. This is a good one.